Warren 5 weather with meteorologist Alan Shoemaker.
Cold fronts cut the valley in half right now. Don't worry, it won't fall apart. We'll still put it all back together here this noon hour. A cold front right in the middle of the valley, ahead of the front. Temperatures in the upper 70s and lower 80s. So if you're watching from Harlingen, Combs, Santa Rosa, most of Cameron County, Williston County, temperatures still around 80 degrees. You're thinking, man, where is that front? It's still warm and muggy, but you're behind the front. Hop over here in the Starr County and western Hidalgo County, temperatures in the upper 50s and 60s already. So you're like, oh, man, waiting for this front to move away. But yeah, it is cooling down. 58 degrees at the airport north of Edinburgh. I think everyone will be in the 60s and eventually 50s late this afternoon, and especially by tonight. Temperatures on future track now. Here comes the front. Again, moving through the valley, should make it toward the coast by around 4 or 5 in the afternoon, at least in Cameron County, probably hitting the coast in Williston County within the next couple of hours. But behind the front, you see a lot of places in the low 60s later this afternoon, still maybe in the 70s ahead of the front at 4 p.m. in Cameron County, at least around Brownsville, and then cooling off everywhere after that. By tonight, we'll be down in the 50s. Not much wind with this front. You know, some of these fronts come through in the winter and you get a lot of wind. Not much wind with this front, maybe a light wind, 10 or 15 miles per hour, but temperatures sit in the 50s overnight. And then tomorrow, I think we'll still be under a lot of clouds, so it may be hard to warm up a lot. We'll go from the 50s in the morning to mainly the 60s most of the day. Don't think we'll get into the 70s tomorrow, but it should be a mainly dry day. There might be a sprinkle near sunrise if the clouds are thick enough, but I think we're looking at mainly dry weather. So to highlight again, cold fronts moving across the RGV, as you just saw right now, should make it toward the coast in Cameron County by about 4 or 5 in the afternoon. 50s. Upper 50s at least later today, and then 50s, low to mid 50s late tonight. So we'll get kind of chilly, but not, again, not a big blast of cold air. And then it turns around by the weekend. We should be back around 80 or so by either Saturday or Sunday. We'll check on your Valentine's forecast later this hour too, if you're worried about impressing your sweetheart on Friday night, what the weather's going to be like. Here we go. It is mainly dry out there, but if you look closely at the First Warn 5 Doppler network, you see a little bit of green pop up now and then. There is a little bit of drizzle in here too, not being picked up by the radar. It's just very low toward the ground and some of these low clouds behind the front. But some drizzle and some sprinkles and even a few more sprinkles. And you can call it maybe a very, very, very light shower west of Port Mansfield. All this moving to the north, but you're not going to see much rain. If you're thinking, I want some rain with one of these fronts, well, this isn't the front for you either. It's looking like very little rain. Dina's always, she gives me a frowny face whenever I say it's not going to rain. She's so by this afternoon, though, not much rain. Future track shows hardly any rain, and I think even this is aiming high. So you probably can cut these amounts about in half of what is forecasting through tonight. But you see it's forecasting generally no more than 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch. And again, cut that in half, we're talking probably less than 1/10 of an inch of rain most everywhere. So you might get a little light rain, but it's not going to add up to much. And future track now, when we look at the front, again, later this afternoon, it's moving through Cameron County at 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Sprinkles, maybe a little light rain shower along it, but could increase a bit more this evening. I think if there is kind of the best time frame for some light rain, we're talking maybe about 7 or 8 p.m. through about 2 or 3 in the morning, basically late this evening and overnight tonight. But after that, you see how things really start to dry up again. So by tomorrow morning, if there is a sprinkle near sunrise, that's probably it. Then we're just kind of under mostly cloudy skies tomorrow, and temperatures probably won't warm up out of the 60s. If you're thinking ahead to Thursday, I think the sun will try to break through a little more on Thursday. So that should help warm temperatures and maybe a couple more degrees. But Thursday still maybe in and out of some clouds, but at least temperatures back up close to 70 degrees in the afternoon. So today, you know, if you had to pick a high temperature, still averaging about 77. Some areas are in the low 80s in the lower valley. Some areas are already falling through the 60s and upper 50s in Starr County. So, but everyone falling back through the 60s and maybe 50s eventually later this afternoon with the wind switching to the northeast and just sprinkles, mainly drizzle, nothing big out there. And by tonight, we cool down into the 50s, more clouds. Again, the best chance of some light rain showers in the evening and say up to about 2 in the morning or so. But again, when you add all this up, we're talking still about tiny amounts of rain, just 1/10 of an inch or so, not enough to really moisten the ground up a lot. So the First Warn 5 AccuWeather 7-day forecast, falling through the 60s later today, upper 50s or so, and then 50s tonight. By Wednesday, we don't warm up a lot, mainly into the 60s for highs, maybe a sprinkle or a shower near sunrise, but I think mainly just clouds all day long or most of the day. Thursday, a few breaks in the clouds, a high near 70 degrees. If there is a sprinkle or two, it's not much on Thursday either. All those rain chances look very, very, very small. By Friday, we should be dry during the day for Valentine's Day. Some models try to hint at maybe an increase in cloud cover late Friday night and Saturday that could create a couple sprinkles or a light rain shower. But once again, we're talking about a very light amount of rain, if anything. But the weekend looking primarily dry, I think, and temperatures still back near 80, if not by Saturday, by Sunday. And then it gets warmer for President's Day on Monday. Some of you have a holiday off. That's one of those days you can't go to the bank or the post office. I mean, my two favorite things to do on Monday. So that's warm President's Day and early next week. We'll keep tracking it and have a look again at your Valentine's forecast and some events coming up in your First Warn 5 weather and traffic later this hour.